Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pages on Stages. Yes. How are y'all doing tonight? Yeah, good. Okay, great. So, thank you for being here. This is our regular open mic that happens every third Saturday of the month. And we do have some snacks available in the back. If you want to, they're donation based. If you want to get any after the show. The bathroom is the first door on the right, but we ask you that you don't try not to flush during a performance, just because we're in a small space. And let's see, any other logistics? Oh yeah, so we have a raffle going on. So everyone should have gotten a ticket. You haven't gotten a ticket, you can get one from Azalea in the back. What we're gonna do the raffle at before we start the open mic, and we have some books that we're gonna raffle off. You can also purchase additional tickets for $1. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about the library that we're in. So the Sims Library of Poetry is part of the Community Literature Initiative, which is a nonprofit that started from the idea of wanting to help poets publish books, because there are a lot of poets that were out there at open mics, but they didn't have any books. So Hiram Sims is here today. He's thank you. He started CLI, and one of the requirements for the class is to read a poetry book a week. And something that he found was that the students were having a hard time finding poetry books. And so he started bringing his own collection of 80 books in a suitcase, which is up in the front. And the students would take a book and bring it back the next week. And someone was like, oh, hey, it's like the Sims Library of Poetry. And that was where the idea was born. It was so Hiram decided to open it up in his garage next to his house, and asked the community to donate books. And he got 2,000 books donated from the community. And then in 2020, the library was moved here, which was a former child care center. And now we have, I think it's like 7,351 books here on these shelves. And these were all donated from the community. And yeah, it's all poetry. And we are supported monthly by donations also from the community. And we have a Patreon. So if anyone is interested, there's a Patreon. The QR code is on the circle table, and also up in the front. We have different tiers. And if anyone signs up today, we have some books that we can give you. So you can get a selection of 5 free books that we have in the back. So if anyone is interested in signing up to become a Patreon member, just let me know, and then we'll get that started for you. Okay, so I think those are all the logistics. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Oh, and then also there is an open mic sign up list in the back. I hope everyone signs up, and we're gonna share some poetry. We're going to hear poetry from everyone after our featured readers. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring up I'm going to read a poem first to start us off. Yeah, and so this is a poem. It's called it's not my poem. It's called Don't Go Into the Library, and it's by Alberto Rios. The library is dangerous. Don't go in. If you do, you know what will happen. It's like a pet store or a bakery. Every single time you'll come out of there holding something in your arms. Those novels with their big eyes, and those no-nonsense, all-muscle greyhounds and Dobermans, all nonfiction and business, cuddly when they're young, but then the first page is turned. The donut scent of it all, knowledge. The aroma of coffee being made, and all those books. Something for everyone. The deli offerings of civilization itself. The library is the book of books. It's concrete and wood and glass covers, keeping within them the very big, very long story of everything. The library is dangerous, full of answers. If you go inside, you may not come out the same person who went in. Thank you. So you all, that was "Don't Go Into the Library" by Alberto Rios. So you're all gonna come out different tonight when you leave. Trust me. Up first, I'm really excited to bring up this poet. I've known him quite a bit of time. He's from the San Fernando Valley. I'm excited for him to share his poetry. I'm going to read his bio real quick. Iván Salinas is an undocumented poet born in Ciudad de Mexico and has lived in the San Fernando Valley, Tongva-Tativiam territory for most of his life. He received a BA in English creative writing from Cal State Northridge. He's the assistant editor of Drifter Zine, a publication highlighting artists of the 818 and beyond. He's a recipient of the 2021 Individual Artist Fellowship of the California Arts Council. His poetry and prose has appeared in Backlash Lit, Curious Publishing, Raíz Magazine, etc. And Iván is a programs coordinator at Beyond Baroque Literary Arts Center and lives in Panorama City with Madi and their dog Rocket. So let's everyone give a warm welcome to Iván. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Great seeing you all. Thank you so much for coming. It's really cool to be back in the space. I was here about a year ago as well, and I had one of my first readings in here, so it's awesome to be back. I love the music intro as well. And yeah, as Caro read in that mouthful of a bio, I am from the Valley, and this afternoon, my grandma arrived from Mexico City. She's visiting, and she gave me this really beautiful bracelet that's meant to protect me from bad energies, and it's a blessing from her. And I thought that was really really nice, and it was a really cool coincidence that the reading is happening right now, and unfortunately she couldn't make it, as there are other family members that she really wanted to see, but hopefully on Thursday she'll get to see me read. But these two poems that I want to read first are inspired on what it's like to be away from your family for so many years, and because of COVID very recently, that line of communication is really just through phone calls, through what you can see on your phone screen. And they're both in Spanglish, so you'll hear some Spanish in there. But yeah, I'll go right into it. This first one's called Rayita en el cielo, which is from a phrase that my grandpa always tells me, that he'll draw a line in the sky every time that I pick up the phone, because it's like a miracle to him. Papa David will draw a line in the sky. Today is a miracle, and I've answered the phone. ¿Qué hubo, mi niño? Hasta que me contestas. ¿Estás trabajando? It's not my day off, but I'm driving back home, and there's time to talk. His voice is raspier than it was 8 years ago, when I last hugged him at the bus terminal that had taken him to the airport for his flight back home. Since then, I've only heard his voice filter through metals, traveling through fiber optic lines and satellites. It's easier to communicate this way. It's easier than getting on a plane where you're asked for papeles. I ask him, ¿Cómo está mi mamá pera? Bien, hijo, ya sabes. He says, indifferent. Life is the same, siempre bien. For Papa David y Mamá Pera, it's my life that's constantly changing. Back home, in La Vecindad, my friends are all still children in my memory. But now they're all grown up, raising their families in the same rooms we used to play. Mamá Pera says La Vecindad will always be home, and it will be here for when I return. Mamá Pera is always telling me to pray, and I never do. But I know she prays for me, and that I do believe in. Mira, cuando tengas tiempo, tú dile a Diosito, échame la mano y verás que te va a ayudar. But I can't remember the last time I looked up at the sky and asked Diosito for any help. When I call Papa David over the phone, he wants to know, when am I going to make it? Why don't I apply for a job as a TV reporter for Univision? Because I don't want to be another anchor defending the state. And I changed the subject. I asked him if he's heard that the statue of Colón is being removed in El Paso de la Reforma, and they're replacing it with the statue of a mujer indígena. Sí, te voy a mandar unas fotos para que las veas. Ahorita tienen una réplica. Órale. Aquí también están derribando unas estatuas de las misiones. I'll send you some photos too. The statues inside the missions are also taken down in this valley. Papa David likes to brag there's Spanish blood in him. Mama Pera y Papa David forget we're of indigenous blood. Papa David walks around Tenochtitlan for me. He picks up some books and takes photos in La Plaza de Tlatelolco, and he reconnects with the ruins, and I'm there with him. While we wait for papeles and go to appointments and consulates and aduanas, with lawyers and customs, we only see each other's faces reconstructed in pixels. I tell Mama Pera she can visit while he waits for her. And I remind him, ya merito, ya verás, quizás yo te alcanza ya en unos años. Every time we talk, they're just happy to hear my voice. And I'm fortunate that they can hear me say, los amo, los extraño, los quiero volver a abrazar. While we wait, phone calls will keep us together. Pictures from Papa David will keep us connected to home, so I can still recognize it. While we wait, I will make time to answer the phone. Papa David, Mama Pera can draw another line in the sky. Thank you. Mama Pera, have I told you these gringos want to take away my money? Mama Pera, please don't blame me for not going to mass every Sunday like you. Mama Pera, I know I'm your baby's son, but sometimes I mess up really bad. Mama Pera, I'm happy to know you still have the energy to walk to the mercado. Mama Pera, the truth is I never liked school. Mama Pera, I still don't want to be a father at 24. Mama Pera, I can barely take care of myself, and I can prove it to you. Mama Pera, bad poetry is affecting my mental health. Mama Pera, I think I'm not as creative as I thought. Mama Pera, I want to talk to you every day, but I don't know how to. I don't dare to. Mama Pera, I don't want to make you cry because I don't believe that heaven exists. Mama Pera, when are you going to talk to me on the phone again? Mama Pera, are you proud of me or do you need to see me on television? Mama Pera, poets don't make much money, but I'd rather be poor. Mama Pera, I know you live one more day to hear me tell you that they're going to give me papers. Mama Pera, sometimes the güeros scare me too much and I think they want to see me dead. Mama Pera, at the beach, there are too many mosquitoes eating my blood. Mama Pera, when you visit us again, I'm going to take you to a gabacho bookstore. Mama Pera, when you come back, we have to get our feet wet by the sea. Mama Pera, I wrote this poem in case you want to read it, but you have to look for it. Every day you ask me to pray to God before I fall asleep, and I tell you yes. Every day I pray. I pray for God to destroy this goddamn border, and he just doesn't want to. The wretched God doesn't make it rain paper so that I can go visit you. Mama Pera, when you ascend into the heavens, I hope you find God, smoking a joint, enjoying a telenovela, and Jesus seated at the right hand of God Father, judging the living and the dead. On my way here, we always have to go through the 405. So these are two haikus. The first one is called Crossing the Sepulveda Pass. Xihuitzíhuatl a través del parabrisas, pella el amanecer. tus ojos verdes despiertan. Summer in Venice, this hippie old sun spurts pimples on my skin. Blood hills form next to the ocean. This one is agua de Jamaica. If anybody likes here that drink, cheers. Jamaica leaves stains on my fingers. Jamaica stains the white mannequins of the boardwalk. It fills up the skater pools. Z-boy prodigies breakdance to the beat before they cannonball into a red sea of Jamaica. On a sunny afternoon, a horizon of red oakwoods at sunset. The shoreline is covered in Jamaica, like blood on the palm trees of Venice. Blood stains the roots and the walls of the townhouse, like the drapes of the Fox Theater. Sweet rivers of Jamaica flow through my veins. Sugar sand covered in blood red. The West Coast is flooded, and I drink it away. Thank you. I want to read a poem from this literary magazine that just debuted last year called Raíz. The cover is a really cool artwork by Edgar Fernandez. And I think Elizabeth Montelogo won the contest for the bookmark. Oh, she's a runner-up. Oh, okay. But it's a great magazine from San Jose. And I submitted a piece on the students that were massacred in 1968. They were killed by the word of the government, and the military themselves are the ones that carried out this this massacre. And so the first part is in Spanish, and the second one will be in English to give it a bit more context. 68. Bajo los truenos de un atardecer, llueven balas al anochecer. Los de guante en blanco matan en vano, marchan en armas hacia la plaza. Parece ser ritual mexica, caída de la iglesia, luz verde de la bengala, anuncia el retorno de la guerra florida. Mira los cuerpos boca arriba, la lluvia en sus bocas hace charcos. Sacrificio con sangre de chamacos. Se acercan ya los barcos, con rifles los soldados, pisando suelos ancestros que presagian el fin de la batalla. Dentro de una jaula les diste una limpiada. La historia está marcada. Huele a masacre la olimpiada. En el nombre de la patria me apuntas con tu arma. Yo, como John, alzo el puño. Como Tommy Smith, alzo el puño. Black fist and black glove, the Aztec Empire hails inside the stadium to the raised fist of American Olympians. In the memory of thousands disappeared, in the name of modernization, in the name of international sports, brown hand and white bandana wrapped around the palm of Mexican assassins, of students never to be seen again, unarmed in the streets. This chapter won't be skipped on a textbook. This chapter will be remembered every year in a march. The takeover of Tlatelolco, the dance inside the Colegio de Santa Cruz. Papa David tells me he learned how to play soccer there, and the same ground our ancestors were indoctrinated in Espanol, and they resisted the word of God. The bullets don't cease, and your fist remains in the air, while the helicopter above you flies like an eagle, scouting for the serpent. In the Plain Valley, where the press conference is held, Gustavo Díaz Ordaz says, "You will thank me later for the death of 1,000 futures. But this president was wrong. The revolutionary spirit lives on." Cool. This last piece is one that has some words in Nahuatl, which is the language of that the Aztecs spoke. And I was taking a few classes in when I was in Chicano studies, studying it in at Cal State Northridge, where I went to, and it was just a way to reconnect with that lost history. And I just wanted to express a poem that sort of had the feeling of imprisonment along with education and just being bombarded with canonical texts and realizing what white supremacy really means in the classroom. And so these are just 4 years of that trauma here. Momachtiani, Nomasi late at the Cal State Calmecac. The classroom door is closed. English only. Ni modo, me quedo afuera. Ni notlalia donde se pueda. Live in silencio in a hallway under surveillance. Daydreaming of summer break, I'm missing out on lectures of white noise I've heard 1,000 times before. Tomorrow's the final, and I'm ditching it for a better trip. Profe inundado en papeleo. ¿Cuántas más lecturas amargas tendré que soportar para vivir infeliz next to the sea? A student runs out of class en llanto. I enter mid-lecture. La profe asks me for a valid excuse y le digo, I couldn't find parking. And she doesn't believe me. Her PhD trained her to smell an Isla Catini. She points me to the door and continues her postmodern lecture. Stepping on Sesavitum ground, I walk out to seek a spot and kill some time with smoke. Nopal inquieto. Deambulo los pasillos en el atardecer y me vuelvo amigo de patos y tortugas. Cargo mochila llena de amochtli y libretas, hojas en blanco rellenadas con tinta negra that make up strange words, mere scribbles to monolingual tongues. My thesis, cluttered Roman letters in white pages till they die in each other's breath. Espíritus de momachtianis desaparecidos por el Estado piden muerte al matador. Tu jeta imperialista plasmada en mercadotecnia nos persigue en la red escolar. Mascota patriarcal, símbolo español, macho violador, once a bull killer, always a killer. Graduates through generations arrojan rosas en tu memoria. Y ninguna rosa es para los acribillados por tu espada. Momachtiani of the untenured Tlamatinime. 4 years and a half, I did my time for a BA in creative bull, due in my mailbox sometime soon. Once at Lamikti, always at Lamikti. Momachtiani, dreaming in Amat. Unchain my throat, I speak in tongues. Gracias.